This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, good morning, friends. We're continuing in Mishna Berura. Daf Hashavua, Siman Kuf Chaf Ches, Sif Chaf Daled. Am she'achirei haKohanim enam b'chlal habracha. The nation that is behind the Kohanim is not included in the bracha. Aval milafneim, but before them, with tzidem and on their sides, afilu mechitza shel barzal, even a wall of iron, enam afsekes, does not interpose. Ula achireim nami, if they're behind them also. Imheim anusim, if they have an extenuating circumstance. Kagain am shabasados, the people in the field, shem trudim malachtan, they're busy working. Ve'enim micham lavai heim b'chlal habracha. Now this is a very encouraging halacha to me. Why? Because it says that those before them and on their sides, even a mechitza shel barzal, does not interpose. So let's make a kal v'chomer. The Gemara says in Birchas, miyam shechar beis hamikdash mechitza shel barzal yesh beinenu uvein avinu shvashamayim. So if a mechitza shel barzal does not separate between us and the Kohanim, alachas kama v'kama, ben b'noi shel kal v'chomer, the mechitza shel barzal that the Gemara says is between us and Hashem, avinu shvashamayim, it's not mafsik. It's not mafsik. If it's not even mafsik to the Kohanim, certainly it's not mafsik between us and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Okay. In any event, the Mishna says like this: Am sha'acharei HaKohanim, hainu afilu einoi acharei mamish. Even if they're not mamish behind them, elam meshuchim letzdadim, they're behind to the side. Kivan shal kabanu me'achareim, meaning, if let's say the Kohanim are here, and they turn around to bless the people. So not only the people directly, not only you guys, but even the people, so to speak, backside, where maybe the Kohanim could catch them peripherally, they're also not b'chlal the bracha. Kivan shalkvanu me'achareim enoi b'chlal bracha v'afilu enoi mafsik midi beinon lebenakam, even if there's nothing in between separating. Einam b'chlal bracha debeina dafka panim k'neged panim. You need it to be face to face. So the Chafetz Chaim writes in Sefer Likutei Halachos that if the shatz is higher than everyone else, then the Kohanim should be careful not to stand behind that amud, because that's a hefsek, and it's not panim keneged panim. The Shulchan Aruch says mechitza shel barzal is not a problem. That's the material. But in terms of height, you're still not mekayim panim k'neged panim. Okay. Aval milfneim ulamatzidem, to the side, before them and to the side. Perish lo mi bayu elu shem milfnei hakanim meshuchim letzdadim pshita b'chabrachim. It goes without saying that those who are in front of the Kohanim, off to the side, it's pashut, they're b'chlal the bracha, because they're still somewhat lefanav. Even though you could say, what do you mean? Is that panim k'neged panim? I guess if they tilt themselves toward the Kohanim, but the Kohanim is not tilted toward them, but let's see, ela afilu k'neged tzadei haKohanim mamish, even if they're literally on the side of the Kohanim. Afilu hachi b'chlal brachahim. Even so, they're included in the bracha. Okay, so it means that they're at a 90-degree angle. In other words, they're literally on the same latitude as the Kohanim. They're still included in the bracha. Utstadim shalacharav kvar kasam deinu b'chal bracha. But if they're on the side behind them, it doesn't work. Ulufiza, according to this, oisan ha'imdim b'koisel mizrachi. Those who are by the Mizrach van, v'aron hakodesh boiled k'tzas beis hakneses. And now, if the aron is recessed into the wall, it's not an issue. The Kohanim will be before the aron, and the people on the side will be exactly to the side. But like in most places, the aron protrudes, which makes the Kohanim go out a bit. So then the people in the Mizrach van, they're behind the Kohanim even slightly. They're not included in the bracha. So you say, what do you mean? They're an oinus because they need the covet of standing there. So taka, it might be a good oinus. The bach is meilitz for them. The achshav shkolechad koine makom b'snas. Nowadays, everyone buys a makom. Chashuvim ka'anusim. They're considered an extenuating circumstance. They can't knock the guy down next to him to move. It's not enough. There's an easily they could find a spot to stand. Or in the middle of the Beis Knesset, or by the Maravant. So says the Maggid Harakiah, not like the Taz. Okay, now in Bir Halacha, even Mechitza Shel Barzel does not interpose. The Eliyah Rabbah said, according to what we say earlier in Siman Seif Chaf, regarding answering Kaddish and Kedusha and Amen, that even though Mechitza Shel Barzel will not separate, but you need that there shouldn't be Tinof being mafsik, so to here. Now that they printed the Sefer HaEshkol, says the Chafetz Chaim, I found Behedya, after he brings the opinion of Achoy Goin, that Tinuf is a hefsek, he says, maybe only to answer Amen it's a hefsek, but Legabe Birchas Kayanim, where the people don't have to answer anything, it's not a hefsek. Why do the people not have to answer? Let's say the people working in the field. So what does the Eliyah Rabbah mean that a tinuf would be a hefsek? Let's say for people who are close enough to hear Birchas Kohanim and need to answer Amen, for them the tinuf would be a hefsek. So it seems like the Berura is coming out. Mechitza Shel Barzel is not a hefsek. Tinuf, if you're becoming included in the bracha because you're am shabasados, you're working and there's nothing you could do, so you don't even have to hear it, then tinuf would not be a hefsek. But if you're, so to speak, on the outskirts of the shul and you do need to hear it, then the tinuf would be a hefsek. Okay, one more. Sivkatan Sadi Vav Imhim Anusim. The am shabasados are anusim, aval beloy anusim. But if it's not an extenuating circumstance, afilu oimdim beveis haknesses, even if they're in the shul, Elashem Achari Akem, they're just behind the Kohanim, Einam B'chal Bracha, Demarim Ba'atzmam, they show She'ein HaBracha Chaviva Lahem, that the bracha is not dear to them. Midoloi Holchu L'Kabel HaBracha Panim Al Panim, from the fact that they did not go to receive the bracha face to face. So you say, you only get the bracha if the bracha is dear to you? Since when does Birchas Kayanim only work if it's dear to you? Since this halacha, this halacha teaches us that you only get the bracha Birchas Kayanim if it's dear to you. What's the source of that?
Mitzvah tzrichas kavana. You're showing you don't want to.
No, mitzvah tzrichas kavana. Let's say a guy says, I have kavana to mekayim the mitzvah of lua, but it's not dear to me. He's yotzei the mitzvah, for sure. There's no din mitzvah tzrichas chavivos. It's a din of mitzvah tzrichas kavana. So why does Birchas Kohanim have to be? Now, what if a shel tzibur who can't stand face to face to the Kohanim, so the Dirsha brings to the Chesed Alafim, he is b'chlal the bracha. Why? Because since he has no choice, he's not showing that the bracha has to be chaviv. He's not showing, that the bracha is not chaviv. Because he just has no choice. So it seems like the din of the bracha being chaviv is similar to the din that it has to be face to face. if you look back at Mishabros of Kata Nun, Oid Yalfinon Begamara Tzarch Liois Panim Keneged Panim. There's a drasha face to face. So what? I guess the pshat is what? It's a chayk. It has to be face to face. The pshat and why it has to be panim al panim is that we darshan. It has to be in an oifen of chavivos. If it's not in an oifen of chavivos, it's lacking in the tzura of the bracha. In other words, it seems like this din that the bracha has to be chaviv to you is part of the halacha of panim keneged panim. Panim keneged panim is not a chayk. Panim keneged panim is an inyan of chavivas. So what? Right. That's the Mishnah we just read.
Right. That's the pshat.
Yeah, but what? The question is, where do we learn out? What's the makar that a bracha has to be chaviv? What's the makar? How do the poskim know that the bracha has to be chaviv? Saying the din of panim keneged panim is a din of why do I have to stand face to face? I have to stand face to face to show chavivos, meaning there's a din. It has to be panim keneged panim. It's that din is not a chayk. It's an inyan of chavivos. Okay, Rabbi Sai, have a great day. Kol tov.
Recording stopped.
Sounds like
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.